Hi, thanks for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be making our very first Halloween DIY of the season, and I'm so excited to take you along with me. We are going to be creating our very own Halloween tree. Now, I'm sure you've seen things like this from Pottery Barn and other places, but the best part about this one is totally budget friendly. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Jackie, and this is My Magical Home, a place where you can find all kinds of creative homemaking ideas. And I hope that if you haven't already, you'll consider joining my YouTube family down below. It is totally free. And not only will you get to see fun videos like this, but I've got all kinds of fun movie nights, and it's going to be all about the spooky season for the next month or so. So I hope you will join me on this journey. I've got so much fun to share with you. Let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start out with the base of our tree, which is going to look like a little cauldron. And I'm using these Dollar Tree tree skirts to make the main majority of our shape today. The first thing that we need to do is take two small pieces of cardboard, and we are going to take the inside of our tree skirt and we're going to just trace this inside. And the first one, I want you to cut directly on the line, exactly the size of that tree skirt. And the second one, you can see that I just kind of come in and draw maybe 1/8 of an inch around the outside of that circle so that it's just slightly bigger than the other one. And I'm going to cut that one out, and then we're going to glue them together. And once these are actually dry, it's kind of cool. You can actually just pop these on. They stay. We are going to glue ours, but I didn't even really have to. You'll notice that I'm actually using my kitchen little clips that I would use for bags on the outside of this, and that's just going to help make sure that nothing kind of goes up over time while it's drying. I want it to be exactly on there as tight as possible. Now it is time to put together the body of our cauldron, and we are just going to be putting some glue around the edge of this little tree skirt upside down and putting them together. I am going to go ahead and use the little clamps because I chose to use Gorilla Glue, but you can use whatever glue you prefer. I just know that this one will hold together metal where I wasn't sure about others. So after I got this all glued together, it did occur to me that I probably could have used just some hot glue because we are actually going to be paper macheing this together as well. But whatever, it's time to let that dry, and we are going to go head to the woods. Our little field trip took us to the Tonto National Forest, which I am lucky enough to live very close to. And my hubby and I went out and just picked a top of a branch that was dead. I didn't want to bother anything that was alive. It's so beautiful out here, or anything that could be something's home. I wanted to, leave as little footprint as possible. But look at what we were able to see on our way home. Oh my goodness, it looked like it had just eaten. I was so excited. It was so beautiful. The pictures and film here just doesn't do it justice, but the sun was going down, and this was the best that I could get. All right, so we have our tree branch, and it is time to get back working on that cauldron base. But wasn't it so exciting to see that rattlesnake, you guys? Just felt like such a blessing. To be honest, it made my night. So I'm really excited that not only did I get to see it, but I got it on camera so that I could share it with you. And if you were wondering, that was a young diamondback. So, but it is time, like as I said, to get back on that base and get to work. So we are going to be securing everything with some hot glue. I'm going to be adding some rope around the top so it has that cauldron lip to it. And then we are going to be bringing in some Mod Podge and tissue paper and kind of going over everything so that not only it secures everything together and makes sure that everything, including that rope lip like I just told you about, has that correct cauldron texture. And you guys, I'm so excited with how it turned out. You can see that I start out by putting the Mod Podge on first, and I really gloop it onto the rope area because I couldn't get it smooth there, and I just wasn't even going to bother trying. But once I get a good area covered, I come in with strips of tissue paper that I kind of just tore off. I like to have the small pieces, and I like to have it torn because when you cut it, it just doesn't give natural edges. And then I use my Mod Podge covered little makeup applier here to smooth down the edges, and just keep going until everything is covered. Now you might be wondering, why are you using a makeup applier to put this on and not a paintbrush? I like them because A, they are disposable. I can get them super cheap at Dollar Tree, like a huge pack of them, but also because I can kind of really manipulate them with my finger, and I like to be able to be very hands-on. I feel like I can get everything into each nook and cranny with it, and like I have a ton more control. Because I wanted to make sure that everything was totally covered, I went through it piece by piece. I got the entire top part with the rope first, then I came through and got the middle, and then of course the base. And that way I made sure that I didn't miss any areas and made sure that every single part of this was sealed. So this next little part isn't technically necessary. It's because I like to go above and beyond, but I did want to show you what I did. I'm going to be bringing out my carving tools, and we are going to be shaving off all of the bark of the tree. My thought is that it will help it not only to not give splinters, it will make sure that the paint stays on there better, as well as just kind of withstand time better. So I'm going to show you how I did that up next. First up, I came through and sawed off the bottom and got rid of any branches that I didn't want. I used, obviously, this saw that you see here, as well as a little pair of pruning shears to do this. So a quick note about the tool that I am using to scrape off the bark here. I think that this is what this is for. I inherited a whole bunch of tools, and all of the wood carving stuff, the clay tools, as well as the leather tools were all put into one bundle together. And so I just use the tools as I see fit. As I'm sure you know, no branch is going to be absolutely perfect. And if you are one of those people like me who really likes to keep things as symmetrical as possible, probably in a way that nature just does not give, I'm going to show you how to take some floral tape and add just a couple extra of these branches back that we're cutting off right now so that we have a little bit of a fuller look. Also, I'm using one tree branch to do this because I was going for that lone tree look, but if you wanted a fuller look, like a full vase or something like that, you could use multiple branches here. We are back working on our base again. I'm just going to cut off any of the extra tissue paper around the lip of this cauldron, basically because we don't need it. After that, I am going to go ahead and paint these black, as well as the tree, with some spray paint, but I seem to have lost the footage, so just pretend you saw it. It is all dry, and we are going to be using this stuff that are gaps and cracks in your wall to make the inside of our tree stay. Now, in hindsight, I really did this poorly. Not only did I add way too much of this stuff, thinking that it would help to hold my tree better, it only caused me disasters. I also think if I was to do this again in the future, I would hot glue the base of my tree down in the center of my cauldron and then come in and fill this. While this does help to keep it from moving over time, it's not really great at keeping it from moving in the moment. All right, so here is my PSA. Do not add as much fluff as I did, you guys. I made such a mess for myself. You'll see that I had to chop some of it off. It kind of swelled up and swelled back down. So off camera, I kind of had to patch a little bit of my paper mache. Just don't overfluff, trust me. I present my little disaster. Over time, this stuff just kept expanding. And while I've used it before, it was something that I was encouraging the expanse. So yeah. We are going to come through and just kind of cut off all of the excess, and I'm going to literally sand off the part that came on the side after I scrape it off so that it doesn't give too weird of a texture. I mean, a little weirdness on a cauldron is going to be expected. Nothing comes out of the mold perfect, right? But foam gloop all over the side, that might be a little askew. Well, crisis averted. Thank goodness. So I'm just going to touch up the black paint from where I had to sand that off, and then we're going to be bringing in some aged bronze paint to kind of just dry brush around the top edge, the bottom, as well as that center crease. And I just did that because I thought it would look cool. I don't know. But I would love to hear your guys' opinion on how everything's turning out so far in the comments down below.
Now it's time to add those extra special touches that bring in the magic. So I mean lights, and we're gonna make some little itty bitty bats to hang from the tree branches to just give it that extra flair. So I have to tell you though, when it came to the lights, they were 9 feet long. So when I started this project, I was like, I'll pick up one. That'll be enough, it's fine. No. So then I go back to the store and I'm like, well, it can't take more than 2. No. It took 3. And I tried really hard to be sparse and really even it out. So, you know, if you are not careful, it could even take 4. Honestly, that is actually what drove up our budget today. I spent $12 on lights and $15 on this project out of pocket. But I have to tell you that they were so worth it. The lights that I picked up from Walmart actually change colors. So you can choose to have them a green, purple, and green, orange, and purple, or you can choose hello puka, or you can choose to have them the orange color or do them in different patterns. And after we are done putting those lights on, like I said, we're going to be making our very own bats, so stay tuned.
I'm only going to show a little bit of the footage of me putting these lights on, frankly, because it took forever. It was quite tedious. Totally worth it in the end, but you don't need to watch me painstakingly try to get this around all of these branches over and over and over again, right? One of those final touches that I forgot to mention earlier is this moss. Now, I don't obviously want to show this foam, so we're going to be hot gluing 2 different kinds of moss all over the foam until it's completely covered, as well as letting some spill over the edges just for fun. Once I had my moss mostly done, I came through and I actually braided the 3 different light strands together, covered them in floral tape, and then I came over with a large piece of moss and actually hot glued on each side of that like wire coming down. That way there was no glue actually getting on it, but if it did, the floral tape will protect it and you can't see it at all because the moss covers it. Then I added just a little bit of extras around the side. So I found the SVG for these bats off of Cricut. I will try to link the person down below. It cost me 99 cents, but what I really liked about them is how detailed they were. They had little ears and little feet, and I'm all about the detail, but I went ahead and sized everything to be about 1 inch or below, and I only cut out a couple of them because I didn't want to overwhelm the tree with bats, but you can add as many as you like. And I kind of lightly scored each of the wings on the edges right where the body would be so that they would fold easier and kind of have a natural flying look. And then I came through with a sewing needle and some black thread and just kind of poked a couple different holes and sewed these little bats with the string and kind of sealed that in with some hot glue so the string wouldn't come out, and tied them to the top of my tree. I have to tell you, my cat Serafina was utterly obsessed. I will be lucky if these make it through the season. All of the cats think that this is the best thing ever, but they're so cute. I really wanted to do them. To attach our little bats to the tree, we are going to just add a small drop of hot glue to wherever we're wanting it on the branch, and then just take our string and twirl it around that hot glue so that it adheres it there. I came back in with a pair of nail clippers and cut off any of the excess strings so that I could get super close. And yeah, that's it. I would love to hear your guys' opinions. Stay tuned to see how it turned out.
So I have to tell you, I couldn't be more excited with how this turned out. This is exactly how I dreamed it would. You know what? It's even better than how I dreamed it would be. But I would love to hear your opinion down below. And I think the thing that makes me the most excited is how versatile this is. Not only is this going to make a really cute piece on top of my pantry to help add that spooky theme that I'm hoping for, but also if I have some friends over for dinner or something, I can throw this back behind my food and I have an instant centerpiece and showpiece to help show off all of the fun. So I really am so excited about this. Don't forget to say hi down below. I'm gonna give you some close-ups, and this is where I'm gonna wrap up tonight's video, guys. I hope that you have an absolutely magical day, and I can't wait to see you next time.